The man who declared that God is dead, the philosopher who questioned everything, morality, religion, even truth itself. And yet, he spent his final years in silence, his mind broken by the very questions he unleashed on the world. This is Friedrich Nietzsche, the thinker who wanted to rebuild meaning after the death of God. Today we're diving into his most mysterious and poetic work yet, Thus Spoke Zarathustra. Who was Friedrich Nietzsche? Friedrich Nietzsche, named after the King Frederick Wilhelm IV of Prussia, was born in 1844 in a small Prussian village. Despite losing both his father and brother at a very young age, he was a brilliant young man, becoming a professor of classical philology at just 24. But instead of staying in academia, Nietzsche chose a harder path to challenge the foundations of Western thought itself. He questioned Christianity, morality, and the idea of objective truth. For Nietzsche, life wasn't about finding comfort. It was about facing reality head-on, even if that reality was terrifying. But behind the cold and bold ideas was a lonely, sick man. Nietzsche suffered from constant migraines, near blindness, and isolation. Yet in his solitude, he wrote some of the most explosive works in philosophy and literature. God is dead. One of Nietzsche's most famous lines come from the gay science. God is dead, God remains dead, and we have killed him. But don't get it twisted, this was not a celebration, it was a warning. Now, Nietzsche didn't mean a literal death of God, like Kratos smashing Poseidon in a video game. He meant that in modern society, belief in divine meaning was collapsing. Science, reason, and secularism were replacing faith, but nothing new had stepped in to take its place. Without God, Nietzsche feared humanity could fall into a new danger, nihilism, the feeling that life is meaningless. And yes, you heard that right. Nietzsche was actually fiercely anti-nihilism, at least according to my interpretation of his books. To confront this crisis, Nietzsche wrote Thus Spoke Zarathustra, one of his many works, but this is arguably his magnum opus. Part poetry, part philosophy, it tells the story of Zarathustra, a prophet who comes down from the mountains after years of solitude to share his overflowing wisdom to mankind. But unlike religious prophets, Zarathustra doesn't preach salvation or sin, he preaches transformation. He tells humanity you must go beyond yourselves. Man is something that shall be overcome. The central idea of Nietzsche's Thus Spoke Zarathustra is the Übermensch, the Overman, or the Superman. Not a comic book hero, not someone with superpowers. The Übermensch, or the Superman, is a human who creates their own values, someone who says yes to life, all of it, even the suffering. Someone who doesn't wait for meaning, they make it. In the prologue, Zarathustra tells the people, "Lo, I teach you the Superman. He is that lightning, he is that frenzy. Man is a rope stretched between the animal and the Superman, a rope over the abyss. What's so great about humanity? We are bridges, not goals. What's lovable? We are always overcoming, always moving forward." In this book, Zarathustra also speaks of the eternal recurrence during his conversation with a dwarf. The idea is that you must live as if you'd relive your life infinitely again and again and again. Now, if that thought fills you with despair, you're not yet free. But if it fills you with joy, if you could say yes to repeating every pain and joy forever, then you've truly embraced life. However, Friedrich Nietzsche's own life came to an end in January 1889. After years of illness, he collapsed in Turin and never recovered his mental sanity. He spent his final decade in silence, cared for by his sister Elizabeth, a lifelong anti-Semite who hijacked her brother's writing after his death and used them to serve the cause of Nazism, leaving a stain on his philosophy that has never been fully erased. Now, according to some sources, on the 3rd of January 1889, Nietzsche witnessed a coachman whipping a horse in the heart of Turin. In a burst of compassion, he is said to have thrown his arm around the horse's neck and collapsed in tears. While the exact truth of the event remains uncertain, It marks the moment when his descent into mental collapse began. Despite all of that, Nietzsche's words outlived him. He inspired existentialists like Sartre and Camus, and even psychologists like Carl Jung. His challenge still echoes today. What do we believe in when the old gods are gone? Can we create meaning in a universe that offers none? Nietzsche once wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." His message wasn't despair, it was courage. The courage to look into abyss and still say yes. Friedrich Nietzsche, one of the greatest and most misunderstood philosophers.